vampire pot belly goblins are hobbling round coming after us. My spirit gets close to that evil and I feel it go.
You ain't black.
We don't even notice.
We will go our way. Together. We will leave someday.
Could this movie be made today?
I'm here to take you home.
Presented without comment.
Shut your mouth.
Some women just need that.
But women are irrational, that's all there is to that. Their heads are full of cotton hay and rags. They're nothing but exasperating, irritating, vacillating, calculating, agitating, maddening, and infuriating hags.
Shut your mouth.
A female character requires rescuing.
It's horrifying. I'm so sorry.
You want a cigarette?
Can you produce one?
I believe I can.
As previously mentioned, Disney Marvel, Disney Star Wars, Pixar, the media, and various other blue-haired people have demonstrated repeatedly in recent days that they couldn't give a rat's ass about global sex slavery, human trafficking, or concentration camps for Uyghur Muslims operating in the same regions of China where Disney filmed Mulan in 2020. However, they will shoot a puppy in the face before allowing tobacco products to appear on a theater screen.
Wabbit season! Wabbit season! Duck season! Fire!
Hey, mate. Are you Mr. Brown's cousin?
No, Mr. Jackson couldn't come.
People who see racism everywhere could get so much mileage out of the code names used in that exchange.
First, we're gonna seal off this.
Man to man, can you get me on the plane?
Now, why would I want to do that, Sergeant? I mean, if you owed me money or something. Might want to give you a job.
They're gonna need a woman there. For her. They haven't thought about that yet, but they will.
Hey! A strong female character don't need no man, and she don't need no woman either. She don't need anybody. No people. No motivation. No obstacles. No expectations. She needs isolation, an internet connection, basic cable, a $3,000 smartphone, maybe some cats. Kind of like that screenwriter's self-insert version of Wendy Moria Angela Darling in Disney's new Peter Pan and Wendy, who found true happiness in her ability to fly by envisioning her life as a lonely, unmarried screenwriter girl boss who literally dies alone in her apartment. Get with the times, hot cop lady from Third Watch.
Lost boys.
You're not all boys.
So?
But I guess it doesn't really matter.
It matters, you fake Wendy ass.
Conflicted.
Cover your head.
What's the matter? You don't like blondes?
Whole world likes blondes. That's why you're here.
I've been reliably informed by Hollywood that the whole world actually likes body-positive black lesbians with a half-shaved haircut and highly limited acting ability who put Obi-Wan Kenobi in the backseat of his own TV series.
Tell me where the Jedi is, or this man and his family die!
Acting brilliant.
You fag, my friend?
That word makes Matt Damon cry.
Matt Damon.
You like girls? Better question where you've been so long. You like girls.
Scott's insinuation that a sufficient endurance of prison rape can transition a heterosexual male into
Fabulous.
would probably be enough to get him sent to a court-ordered hate speech re-education camp if he was in Canada. Figure your shit out, Canada! Here's a more likable bug-eyed elf with chronic incontinence explaining how allowing homosexual men to date in public without fear of discrimination leads to a more free and equitable society.
Mandates are the way to avoid further restriction.
Oh no!
You nasty ass bastard!
See what's the skyways, or the land and the sea, are ready to fly anywhere the duty calls.
Could this movie be made today?
Oh, oui, monsieur?
There's a man with he's got a woman. She's tied up in a burlap sack. He's taking her to the Eiffel Tower.
Ah, it is spring, is it not?
The film features this guy.
It's horrifying.
A female character requires rescuing.
And I'll be shooting for my own hand.
We didn't realize it at the time, but that movie was the beginning of the end for Pixar.
Well, I think we can all agree that the decision to get rid of Daffy was a poor one, but it's time to move on. And by move on, I mean reversing course and getting Daffy back.
After committing the blue-haired sin of acknowledging that women can make mistakes, a strong female character defers to a double-teaming patriarchal business hierarchy in order to save her job and secure future advancements based on merit and a cooperative attitude. Has she not heard of doubling down or the TikTok trend of quiet quitting?
With quiet quitting, you're doing what you're paid for and not more.
That's a huge bitch!
And it's about setting boundaries around what you're willing to do.
This is unacceptable! We cannot have 9-year-olds working in sweatshops making Acme sneakers, not when 3-year-olds work for so much less. Yes!
But sir, they require naps.
Put double espresso in their sippy cups.
The Hollywood elites who only remove homeless people from the sidewalks with snowplows when they need a theater to look pristine for the premiere of a movie tailored to appeal to the Chinese film market, and by extension the censorship mandates of this Chinese Communist Party, don't appreciate Steve Martin saying the quiet part out loud like that.
Who here thought they had permission to say anything critical of Chinese politics?
Well, it is true, sir. The Chinese seem to exploit their own people with forced labor.
Shut the up, Thor!
And what is your name?
Mary.
Well, Mary.
How'd you like to do a little kissing later? Yeah. That's what they all say at first.
The fact that Mary seems flattered by the chairman's romantic overtures and later willingly joins him in his shielded chamber leaves the blue-haired people with the uncomfortable insinuation that prior to the Me Too movement, some women really were just asking for it.
Conflicted.
Presented without comment.
We represent the Lollipop
I'm gonna come up on you!
Rugged white males punching each other in the face.
Down with the patriarchy.
Husky fowl!
Whoa, you do not get to use that word. That is our word.
Husky fowl!
In the most literal sense, this attempted murder is a clear example of black-on-black crime, and half of the United States was burned to the ground in 2020 by BLM Antifa, on the accepted premise that such criminal actions occur so negligibly as to be statistically non-existent. Portraying the myth in a comedic light is even more unforgivable, and I think we all know who's really to blame.
You've got to do better, Senator. You've got to step up.
Wabbit season.
Wabbit season.
Wait a minute.
See, I told you this wasn't gonna work without...
Single-barrel headshots at close range are fun.
Well, the trigger wasn't pulled. I didn't pull the trigger.
You are worthless, Eric Barrett!
At first they told me to lose the stutter. Now they tell me I'm not funny. It's a pain in the butt being politically correct. You're telling me.
20 years later, I'm pretty sure we've come full circle on that one again, so Porky Pig and the Oscar-winning Speedy Gonzales are both cancelled on multiple levels. Fat people with stutters are not hysterically funny, and people only want to see Mexican stereotypes and perpetual victimhood movies like Blue Beetle, or so I've been reliably informed by all the people online who are outraged that it somehow lost $300 million after the director called comic book fans and film fans a bunch of racists, and George Lopez called Batman a fascist.
Arriba!
I think he likes you.
Heteronormativity.
We'll convert your children.
Allah Akbar! Allah Akbar!
Answer, we team you up with a hot female co-star.
Usually, I play the female love interest.
Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello.
About the cross-dressing thing in the past, funny. Today, disturbing.
Lady, if you don't find a rabbit with lipstick amusing, you and I have nothing to say to each other.
The blue-haired people are reasonably confident it was jokes like this that led to multiple mass shootings being carried out by fully misunderstood, albeit fully manifestoed, transgender people in the past year. If we keep allowing jokes like this, parents might start to believe it's a bad idea to let their 6-year-old daughter cut his dick off.
Hey, kids, here's a present for you. Be sure to run real fast with it now. Come on, double time. Let's go. Move, move, move.
Guess who? So did you miss me?
Duck rape.
I'm not crying. I'm not crying.
Good morning. Hey, Batman, you good? All right.
As you may recall, despite his being arguably the most popular superhero on the planet, the blue-haired people who run DC Film Studios and the CW network have recently decided that
Batman's a fascist.
According to various recent movies and TV series, Batman needs to give his money away like some freaking commie and go work in a soup kitchen. However, the blue-haired people still don't actually accept the repentance that they demand, so even if Batman completes his sentence in a Canadian re-education camp, this cameo from a time when he was still widely regarded as a right-wing hero is still enough to turn somebody's blue hair green, and then we're right back to university safe spaces.
Mr. Trump,
Yes,
are you Batman?
I am Batman.
What's up, Doc? Hey, Bobby, how's the wife? Great nose job, Chuck. Oh, thanks, Spoils. Good rug, Mel. Never would have guessed.
Now, I could be crazy, but I'm fairly certain that was a tribute to Looney Tunes legends Chuck Jones, Mel Blanc, and one of several famous creators named Bob, Clampett, Givens, and McKimson. Either way, it's putting white guys from the 1930s on a pedestal, and that chick from the Snow White remake with the Easter Island brow ridge would like to have a word.
You know, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her. Yeah. Weird. So we didn't do that.
This is so much cancer that I can feel the tumors growing on my back. And it's way down heavy on me, and it's not okay. Can you help me out?
Oh my gosh, I can't even stay in the blue-haired devil's advocate mindset after that. How can anyone hate their own character's legacy that much? Here's a more likable sampling of Sydney Sweeney's Instagram.
Great googly woogly!
Ready to fly, anywhere the duty calls, ready to fight, to be free.
Could this movie be made today? Unrepentant white European generational wealth resulting from birthright class hierarchies.
You know, it's funny, sometimes American journalists talk about how bad a country is because people are lining up for food. That's a good thing.
This must not happen.
Why? Why can't we use the power just this once? Why can't you stay?
We can't change time.
Positive male mentorship from a wise paternal figure to a female character.
Down with the patriarchy.
Lara's brutal training regimen, coupled with her history of military service, implies that girl bosses do not have the innate ability to defy gravity and take down combat-proficient males twice their size, but actually have to work their finely sculpted asses off for it. Somebody please tell the MCU, Amazon's The Rings of Power, and 90% of TikTok that Britney Spears was right 10 years ago. Now, I'm not suggesting by contrast that men are naturally elite. If we want to have a swashbuckling life of action-adventure, we have to be put through the meat grinder just like any accomplished woman.
Today I'll be doing a full flip onto gusset plates, cheese grater, barbed wire chairs. Whoop whoop! Yeah! 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 Ah! Ah! Shit! My back!
I miss you, Daddy. I wish we could get back the time that was stolen from us.
Lara's implication that having a stable father figure in the home is essential for a young girl's development and emotional well-being is one of the most infuriating lines in the movie because, you know, without rampant unresolved daddy issues, the blue-haired people wouldn't exist. That makes this line literal violence bordering on genocide, sort of like when a conservative commentator speaks at a university.
Right? I think I've never seen anything quite so beautiful that I know so little about.
According to Lena Dunham, that was rape.
You said you were a lawyer?
British cultural appropriation by an American actress. And according to Lena Dunham,
This is why we can't have nice things.
Not quite what you hope for, Mr. Powell.
American cultural appropriation by a British actor. Sorry, Daniel Craig, but not everyone can be Andrew Garfield.
I have the tingle thing, just not for Brent. Can you not throw the bread again? You're a deeply mistrusting person.
Angelina Jolie's breast size at the time of filming was 36C, and she used a padded bra to play Lara as a perfectly curvatured and gravity-defiant 36D. This not only creates unrealistic body standards, as no fit woman on the planet is currently in ownership of the mythical 36D sports bra, but it's also an example of big boob appropriation by an American actress. Spend a little time behind a keyboard, guy who directed Con Air. Lara's nightly partaking of traditional British chandelier bungee calisthenics, wherein she glides through the air with all the grace and beauty of an angelic messenger bearing a herald from God, makes fat, ugly women self-conscious, and it's very important for the rest of us to adjust the health-conscious decisions of our own lives in order to accommodate that.
So when I think about what fat liberation looks like to me, it looks like centering the voices and the experiences of those.
Cookie! Nom 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 nom. Oh, nom 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 nom. That's a huge bitch.
Despite Hillary's demonstration of his full-range butler duties being one of the funniest moments in the film, it fails to take into account that not only can a female character no longer require rescuing, she can no longer even require the assist. Did Hillary not see Disney's Little Merm remake where Prince Eric was about as useful and accomplished as Morfydd Clark's IMDb page?
Conflicted.
Back on the bench, Butley! Brief tangential. Remember how 1989 Prince Eric held fast to the helm right until the moment of impact, skillfully guiding the ship around the rim of the vortex to ensure that Ariel was safe even at the risk of his own life? Yeah, now Ariel will be like, nah, let's just give this bitch one good spin from 50 yards away like we're on The Price is Right and then bail. The movie sucked! Here's a more likable snowboarder chick who's so joyfully enraptured in singing a Rihanna song that she doesn't even realize she almost got eaten by a bear.
Baby, I work.
Pork!
I woke up this morning and I just hated everything.
Perpetuating the old English belief that a lady being taken with the hysterics is a legitimate medical diagnosis.
And I know he will fight Wickham, and then he will be killed, and then what is to become of us all?
The UK version of Stand Your Ground and Castle Doctrine.
We, the jury, find the defendant, Kyle H. Rittenhouse, not guilty.
Despite the fact that none of her bullets ever connect with a human target for the duration of the film in order to ensure a PG-13 rating, Lara uses guns, which are very scary and loud and bad and scary and bad.
Hell yes, we're gonna take your AR-15, your AK-47.
Thank Mother Gaia that the blue-haired people who secured the Tomb Raider franchise rights are now producing new games and theatrical films, which have not only stripped Lara of her dual-wielded David Hogg nightmare inducers, but also her wealth, charisma, free spirit, guilt-free love of adventure, lone wolf nature, sense of fun, and at least 3 cup sizes. It is sweet relief to know that the smirking, trigger-happy bundle of boobs from our childhood is now a gunless, emotionally
conflicted
sad sack who is driven by a sense of self-loathing to embark on yet another journey of self-discovery and repentance like she's the leading man of literally all 4 Thor movies.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. But time was stolen from us. And it's not fair.
No, it's not fair. But you have stolen time itself.
Lord Richard Croft is played by Academy Award-winning Hollywood legend, the National Medal of Arts recipient, and Angelina Jolie's real-life father, Jon Voight, which was a touching reunion for the 2 actors after many years of estrangement. Voight also happens to be the first movie star I ever had the honor of meeting in person in 2013. However, Jon Voight is also a vocal supporter of President Donald Trump, which reminds the blue-haired people that President Donald Trump exists.
Oh, shut up! Silly woman!
Okay, fine, I make too many pro-Trump jokes on this channel. making me the unlikable person for once. Here's a more likable and highly attractive TikToker, articulately explaining why President Donald Trump is actually a very bad man who deserves all 91 criminal charges he is currently facing, with a potential prison sentence of more than 700 years, because having a weaponized Department of Justice target Joe Biden's leading political opponent is exactly what the Founding Fathers envisioned when they fought a war against tyranny in 1776.
So, I recommend all of
And a lady should be modest.
Yes, a lady should be modest.
Lara's hot!
You want a Bugatti? You want a Maserati? You better work. You want a Lamborghini? Sit martinis. I'm not crying. I'm not crying.
Could this movie be made today? Black on black crime, including that which is ethnically based, exists. Like, a lot.
Black people can't be racist.
We have no soldiers, we have hope. We've only sick people here, eh? We've only sick people here. Please.
Blue-haired people have been very publicly cheering on Hamas terrorists killing more than 1,400 Israelis in recent days, including the official Twitter accounts of BLM, Antifa, and Starbucks, don't appreciate Colonel Sadek saying the quiet part about radical Islam out loud like that.
This jungle is filling up with rebel troops. When they get to this mission, they will kill everything they see, including privileged white doctors.
I've been reasonably assured by the blue-haired people that white privilege is a shield against literally everything except an obligated sense of self-loathing, so Lena should be fine.
Hey, where are the white women at?
That's a great idea, Red. Drugging and kidnapping an American doctor. I'm not even sure the is American.
America first mindset.
At some point, you know, maybe there needs to be a formal deprogramming of the cult members.
But you know what? Red's right on that one. I don't even care what the blue-haired people think, and I don't care if you're a foreign national who married in. If you're going to call yourself an American, learn how to talk American, damn it.
We need to evolve our institutions.
I'm Canadian. I didn't get a word of that.
We need to evolve our institutions. We need to evolve our institutions. We need to evolve our institutions. We need to evolve our institutions.
Now get on the helicopter!
What about my people?
Not here for them.
You lied to me! You lied to me!
The bards will sing ballads of how ineffectual that slap was, but the biological reality of busty Italian model versus Navy SEAL does not compute with the blue-haired people. If Monica Bellucci was current-day Margot Robbie, Bruce Willis would be on his ass.
Lena, listen. Wake up.
Lena not only shows a lot of cleavage and never gets a single girl boss moment, but she actually saws logs through most of the final battle. I'm sorry, Monica Bellucci, but we now live in a world wherein black mermaids can helm a barely buoyant ship around a maelstrom vortex and into giant sea witches in the middle of a tempest without even possessing the absolute bare necessities of ship helming, such as, you know, legs, feet, and the collaborative ability to brace them against the deck.
Nothing! You've done nothing! Nothing!
Lieutenant, get those weapons out of my operating room. You're frightening my
The
staff.
casting of Italian sex symbol Monica Bellucci has the unfortunate effect of making Lena a character who has both the skillful hands of a surgeon and the ample mammary glands and childbearing hips of Monica Bellucci. This leaves us with the horrifying implication that she could make both awesome babies and sandwiches.
I just mean that it's no longer 1937.
Go with God.
God already left Africa.
Now, I have zero problem with lumping statements like that, since generalizations are a great way to make the blue-haired people's faces melt off. The funniest thing that's happened with this channel so far was some random Hindu guy from India flipping out on reporting me to YouTube for using the phrases civilized nations and uncivilized nations in my Lara Croft Tomb Raider review. In a series of ranting comments wherein he implied that Adolf Hitler and Her Royal Majesty Queen Elizabeth II were best buddies because they both claimed vague adherence to an Abrahamic faith. Now, to be fair to him, determining the criteria needed to differentiate civilized from uncivilized nations is a matter that merits deeper discussion, and I'd be happy to have that conversation with him. However, the discussion-allergic blue-haired people who are currently backing legislation in support of a 2-year prison sentence for the crime of misgendering tend to be a little less forgiving of a failure to differentiate one sovereign nation from the 53 other sovereign nations in the second largest continent on the planet.
What do you mean, you people?
Ready. Bruce Willis is rumored to occasionally vote Republican.
We get him to the LZ, and we leave him behind to die like the others. I'm confused, and the boys are confused.
Get to the point.
Why'd you turn that bird around, LT?
I don't know the sexual orientation or gender identity of any of these people. There are a lot of troubling indicators of heteronormativity, so the XLG-BLT community would be a lot safer if all these characters introduce themselves with their pronouns.
I will never apologize for standing up for an LBG.
So who is gay?
Your secondary objective is to extract 2 nuns and a priest to run a feel-good near Yolingo, if they so choose to leave.
The premise of this mission is literally go save the white people.
Like, how do you define racism?
Well, so racism, I would define it as a collection of racist policies that lead to racial inequity that are substantiated by racist ideas.
Let's turn it around.
Falling Waters Attack of Conscience, the premise of the mission goes from go save the white people to white savior narrative. Typical toxic man.
Lieutenant, his father was more than the president. He was the tribal king. That makes him the heir to the Igbo nation.
And just like that, the premise of the mission goes from go save the white people to white savior narrative to go save the Christian male at the top of the societal class hierarchy. This is the most infuriating Black Lives Matter film the blue-haired people have ever seen.
The other thing I'll say is Palestine is our generation South Africa. And if we don't step up boldly and courageously to end the imperialist project that's called Israel, we're doomed.
That's a huge bitch!
Monica Bellucci's hot, and she shouldn't be hot. She should be ugly and fat and demanding that all hotels undergo multi-million-dollar renovations to make their hallways wider in order to better accommodate the body-positive community.
These are the exact steps that hotels can take to be more size-inclusive and accessible for travelers of all sizes. Make elevators and hallways spacious.
This is not okay. It's time to stop. It's time to stop.
How about you, Red? I can't look at them like packages anymore. I'm gonna get them out, or I'm gonna die trying.
Are we there yet?
We've got Bruce Willis, Nick Chinland, Cole Hauser, Iman Walker, Johnny Messner, and Tom Skerritt in a movie that would exceed the modern permissible amount of toxic masculinity with the inclusion of even one of them. Get with the times, guy who directed Training Day. Should have given it to Greta Gerwig.
There felt something sparky about it.
Now this man is dead. If you don't want his death to be meaningless, it's time for you to become a fucking man and get your people into Cameroon. Now cowboy the fuck up.
Cowboying up presented as a pinacular masculine trait which even elite soldiers and bloodline royalty reverently aspire to.
Fill your hand, you son of a
famous day in history of the 7th.
I don't care if they're willingly laying down their lives to carry out an unsanctioned intervention and save the lives of oppressed Nigerians. Where are the body-positive, non-binary black lesbians on this SEAL team?
I'm an 8-year military veteran. I'm a college student. I'm a black woman. And I believe that white privilege exists.
That's a huge bitch!
You're in good hands, America. Here's a more likable tutorial on how to cook traditional Brazilian dishes in Rio de Janeiro. Just like Avo used to make.
So I cook all of them like this in small pieces. So this is our food. I'll let everything cook. This is how the ground beef looks like. So this is how it looks like. melt the cheese. Whoa, cheesy.
Great googly woogly!
Ah, delicious.
No idea why that video has so many views. She's literally just making mashed potatoes with hamburger. America!
I'm ashamed to be an American where not all folks are free. And I won't forget the enslaved who died and built this place for free. So I proudly lift up all the folks who are still oppressed today.
Okay, shut up, you ungrateful terrorist bitches. Cut to the eyeball Windex.
You want a hot body? You want a Bugatti? You want a Maserati?
Could this movie be made today?
Problem is, you guys are never actually doing anything heroic.
Man, please, that ain't true. What about that time we discovered that sweet diner? And they had that food?
Oh, yes. It was most delicious.
That wasn't even a crime, and you didn't save anything.
The pages of modern superhero comic books are 75% comprised of diverse women discussing their feelings around kitchen tables, so the blue-haired self-inserted women and cucked men who write them would like to have a word.
I'm sorry to break this to you, but Captain America is a social justice warrior. And if you don't like my politics, don't buy my book. I'm like, what comic books are you reading? Where is the apolitical comic book that you're reading? Like, I want to go back to the comic books we were reading in my youth. The 70s, when they were incredibly political.
That's a huge bitch!
Man, how's we supposed to get in now? I do have the ability to open portals to any feasible location.
That's right. I always forget about that. Portal it is!
The recurring joke of Raven's interdimensional portals getting the Titans out of almost any dilemma is particularly infuriating to the blue-haired, self-inserted women and cucked men who write modern superhero films, since one of their most notable contributions to modern cinema is introducing incredible superpowers into their self-inserted characters, and then completely forgetting about them only during the situations in the film wherein the abilities would have been the most useful. Kinda like that time Captain Marvel let an entire planet die for 30 years before remembering that she could literally kick-fart their son back into existence through the sheer power of feminism. Robin's quip about how he always forgets about Raven's portal abilities is particularly safe space-inducing, because it implies that the blue-haired, self-inserted women and cucked men who write modern superhero films are really, really incompetent.
Black girl magic!
According to BLM Antifa, the media, Hollywood, most commercials for ADT home security systems, and various other blue-haired people, white-on-black crime is literally the only kind of crime that exists, so you'd think they'd be fine with this villainization of a straight, white, masculine, patriotic, possibly Christian, and heteronormative male. But Superman's gay now, according to a recent comic book series that was cancelled after less than 20 issues because it lost all the money in the world, so the joke of him eating a hot dog kinda writes itself, and that is not funny.
I am not gay. I have relationships with women. Sex with men.
And I got news for you. That means you're gay.
No, you deserve it. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You know who else deserves it? All of you.
All of you implies the inclusion of conservative males who voted for Trump.
I am Batman. What's your mother's name?
Martha.
My mommy's name is Martha, too. Wait, what's your father's name?
Jonathan?
Mine's Thomas.
I don't know if we're supposed to have noticed that fathers no longer exist in Marvel movies, but drawing attention to what once was by uttering parental names like Thomas and Jonathan is the same thing as saying the quiet part out loud.
Why did you say that name?
Hey, Jade Wilson! Would you please make a movie about me? Was that too aggressive?
No, it was
The
good.
Democratic Socialists of America and various other blue-haired people have requested that jazz hands officially replace clapping in auditoriums because audible applause can trigger social anxiety. So an assertive white male making an unsolicited demand of a strong female character is right out.
That's a good thing.
It was all just...
Mind manipulation!
Whoa! Gender-swapping comic book characters is supposed to be a one-way street. Male to female transitions only, preferably and subsequently participating in women's sports.
It is man.
Nope. Hey, keep it down. I'm trying to poop in here.
Robin, do your friends know that's a fake toilet?
Wow. Do not go in there.
Oh, wow, you really did. You pooped in the fake toilet. You pooped on my set.
Jade Wilson is hilariously voiced by the great Kristen Bell, which obviously reminds the blue-haired people of that time Kristen Bell made a pretty funny fake PSA, at least by HuffPo standards, promoting the corporate hiring of women in order to take advantage of the gender pay gap. Which in turn also reminds the blue-haired people that the existence of the gender pay gap has been repeatedly and resoundingly debunked over the past several years by anyone with a double-digit IQ, which I sincerely hope includes Kristen Bell.
The gender pay gap is a myth.
We will do it, Robin, because it is your dream.
Despite Starfire's Tamaranian orange skin tone and pink hair, she's still widely considered to be a vaguely hot Caucasian redhead who exists, and that's just not a thing anymore. Get the race swappers on it, stat!
Oh, I nailed that.
Man, these bikes ain't got no power.
Where are we gonna find Libyan terrorists to sell us plutonium at this hour?
We don't need plutonium. These time cycles are powered by radness. Are you ready? Then let's go back to the future! I mean, the past!
Including the title, plot points, and original score from Back to the Future in this scene reminds viewers that really good movies used to exist, and the blue-haired people who brought us the Disney Star Wars trilogy are really counting on us forgetting that.
Let the past die. Kill it, if you have to.
Yeah, that line wasn't on the nose at all.
Hey!
Stan Lee!
I'm back. I don't care if it's a DC movie. I love cameos.
Including comic book legend Stan Lee in this movie reminds viewers that good comic books used to exist. Old white guys save everything.
Oh man, I'm never letting you fly my body again.
That phrasing sounds suspiciously like My Body, My Choice, which reminds the blue-haired people that Roe v. Wade just got shit-canned.
I'm going to Hollywood to set things right.
I cannot emphasize enough how skid-mark terrified the blue-haired people in Hollywood are at the prospect of an actual hero setting foot into California with the stated intention of making things right.
I know folks say, oh, they're just cleaning up this place because all those fancy leaders are coming into town. That's true, because it's true.
You're the devil.
Now that they're under my full mind control, they'll do anything I want. Destroy the Teen Titans.
Blue-haired people don't appreciate such powerful depictions of actual brainwashed cultish behavior because the shocking contrast between truth and media spin draws attention to the fact that they spent almost 3 years trying to gaslight the world into believing that January 6th was a thing.
We are going to defeat the globalists very bigly.
Also, just a reminder that with 7 self-professed abortions, Whoopi Goldberg has killed exponentially more people than the combined forces of January 6th and Kyle Rittenhouse. And it could be reasonably inferred that, unlike January 6th and Kyle Rittenhouse, she didn't exclusively kill white people.
The Holocaust isn't about race.
You're never gonna beat me now that I'm a giant robot. Give up. This is dumb. Now you're wasting everybody's time.
We'll stop you, Slade.
How are you gonna do it? How are you gonna beat me? You haven't done it yet. You keep talking about how you're gonna do it. What are you gonna do? You gonna fart on me? You wanna have a dance-off? You gonna annoy me to death with your waffles?
Waffles is a reference to Teen Titans Go Season 1, Episode 39, Waffles, wherein Cyborg and Beast Boy annoy the rest of the Titans by saying nothing but the word waffles for an entire day. That's not exactly deep lore, but it is an Easter egg, and the blue-haired people can't weaponize their favorite intellectual properties and use them to corrupt our youth as long as Easter eggs exist to joyfully redirect fans back to the purity of the source material. That makes this line literal violence against blue-haired people, or at the very least, stochastic terrorism.
It's horrifying.
Get up. Stop milking it.
Ray Ray?
Don't call me that.
You saved me.
Let's not make it a big deal.
Heteronormativity.
We were just discussing ideas of what to do with the new Prince Eric movie.
Put a chick in it, make her gay.
I see you've discovered my secret plan.
Titans, why did you do that to Superman? He's a national treasure!
It is one of the unspeakable truths of Hollywood that a large part of the failure of the DC Extended Universe was due to the fact that it had a ready, able, willing, comic-devoted, perfectly cast, and seriously jacked Henry Cavill, champing at the bit to continue playing Superman for many years to come following his introduction to the cinematic universe in Man of Steel in 2013. However, the blue-haired demonic commies who run Warner Brothers Studios shriek like sunstroke vampires at the thought of further glorifying a masculine white man who's loved America since 1938, when there are still scores of untapped, non-binary black lesbian Marxists who were created about a week and a half ago yet to be mined from the putrid remnants of modern DC comic books. So they never actually got around to making a Superman sequel at any point over the past decade. The bean counters at Warner Brothers, who are really hoping you won't notice that Blue Beetle just lost $350 million at the box office, don't appreciate Robin saying the quiet part out loud like that.
Batman's a fascist.
They're not sending their best.
Facial scan accepted.
Whoa, these effects are pretty impressive. This is just like our vault.
Well, thank you. I've designed it with meticulous attention to detail.
Despite being a secret villain, Jade's professed reverence for adapting Robin's story accurately is mistaken by the hero as being a good thing. This implication veers dangerously close to respecting the lore territory, and Amazon still got a second season of The Rings of Power to lose money on at some point in the next couple of years, despite having already lost more than 63% of their viewing audience between the pilot and final episodes of the first season, which had a reported production budget of $500 million. It is also noteworthy that most multi-season television productions anticipate spending a larger portion of their budget on the first season, as most of the constructed sets can then be reused for the remainder of the series, thereby saving them a ton of money from season 2 onward. However, The Rings of Power had to change filming locations from New Zealand to the UK after season 1, meaning that their initial construction budget just went down the toilet, so they'll probably have to spend another $400 to $500 million in order to replicate the sets in England for season 2. So they're basically $1 billion in the hole at this point, with a grand total of 8 produced and aired episodes that had a 37% audience retention rate, with a contractual obligation to the Tolkien estate to make at least 4 more seasons of this dog shit. Which means, to put it mildly, their bean counters and shareholders are going to be a little bit
conflicted.
Short version is the blue-haired people hate the lore almost as much as they hate the fans, and Robin needs to immediately be put into a FEMA camp.
Whoa, you guys took down Slade.
And saved the world.
Hey, I guess you aren't such goopsters after all.
By adhering to the classic gender norms of the original comic books, we are subjected to the sight of countless muscular masculine male heroes and curvaceously beautiful female heroes. If we don't nip this triggering trend in the bud, people might start believing appalling statements like, the DCEU could still be saved if it would just cast Sydney Sweeney as Power Girl.
Great, googly woogly!
That's my Donatello. I cannot tell you how furious I've been with him being demoted from the brainy badass of the comic books to a literal geek with goggles in the last 3 movies. Thanks again, Seth Rogen. Good luck with Santa Inc. Season 2.
Just stop. Just stop it. Stop. No. Just stop it.
I am woman, hear me roar, in numbers too big to ignore, and I know too much to go back and pretend.
However, recent successes like Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, Joker, and Spider-Man No Way Home, and even a few more politically slanted hits like The Batman and Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, only serve to hammer home the point that if they would just focus on characters, stories, and yes, even nostalgic fan service, instead of using both She-Hulk and the Batman as a platform to attack white guys on YouTube, it wouldn't be so hard for great superhero movies to pack cinemas again. And maybe even the blue-haired people will figure that out one day. Perhaps after Marvel's The Marvels officially loses more than $500 million over the next couple of weeks.
No, 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 no.
That famous day in history, the men of the 7th Cavalry
help from her buddies in the military. Lara is airdropped deep into the Cambodian jungle where she... Oh yeah, and then this happens.
I love you.
I'm kidding. There are 0 dinosaurs in this movie. How the heck have we gotten 3 Tomb Raider movies and Lara Croft still hasn't shot a dinosaur? I love this movie, but that's kind of unforgivable, especially when we're dealing with a plot device that literally wormholes time. Also, Lara's boobs are getting progressively smaller both in the movies and the video games, and I'm telling you right now, stop that shit! If Alicia Vikander was lying down, you could play shuffleboard on her.
You wanna hot body? You wanna Bugatti? You wanna Maserati?
YouTube's being weird. It's on Rumble.
Says I'm just like a goose. I chew snooze to beat the deuce. She says, what's the use to chew that snooze when you got to spit out most of the juice? A turkey in the straw, a turkey in the grass, a turkey in the straw. I get a kick out of this. Roll them, twist them up a high, attack the hall. Hit it up a tune called Turkey in the Straw. Come on, man.
I don't want him arrested. I just want him to leave us alone. No, but he had a weapon on him, and it was terrorist threats.
Because he said die to me and had his knife out?
Now he's gonna think I'm doing this because I'm white and he's black. Or he's homeless and I'm not. I don't want that. But did he do what he did? Yeah, but I don't want him thinking that I did it because he's in whatever situation he's in.
That's a huge
And when you get the chance, you are the dancing queen, young and sweet, only 17.
Okay, so now it's time to try and see if it is good or not. Cheese. I like it. It's delicious.
I'm angry. I've had enough of these people. They're a bunch of Christian murderers, scum. They're one giant death factories keeping babies alive. Selling their body parts. What more do you need to know about these people? I go out and face these scum. They literally crawl out from under rocks. They have green